This is my 1988 Chevrolet K2500. I purchased this truck several months ago with a broken clutch, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to fix it and sell it or keep it as my towing rig. However, a few weeks ago I found and purchased my dream truck. That means I'm definitely going to be selling this truck, and before that can happen there are a few things that we need to take care of. In order to replace the clutch, I had to remove the entire exhaust system except for the manifolds. During the removal, I noticed a few issues. First, the muffler and tailpipe are far too rusty to be reused. Second, I noticed that the catalytic converter and intermediate pipe were resting on this frame rail. I don't have footage of this, so instead I'll show you footage from the future. This gap between this pipe and the frame rail was non-existent. Lastly, the weld between the catalytic converter and the intermediate pipe were extremely fragile and just broke apart during disassembly. My goal for this project is to fix all these issues inexpensively and make future repairs easy by using removable exhaust clamps in the factory locations. Let's get started by putting the truck on ramp so we can more easily install the Y pipe. Now's also a good time to see what the truck sounds like with only exhaust headers installed. Skipping ahead, the Y pipe is now bolted to the exhaust manifolds. Next we need to get the catalytic converter and intermediate pipe ready for installation. This is the direction of flow in the catalytic converter, which means this side must connect to the intermediate pipe. The factory intermediate pipe had a notch that fit around this locating tab. The new intermediate pipe has no such notch, so we'll have to grind off the tab. As I mentioned earlier, the old intermediate pipe was welded to the catalytic converter. That means some grinding had to be done to separate them. Here I'm cleaning up the end pipe of the catalytic converter to help round it out, since grinding left some small flat spots. Alright, just to give you a quick update, you can see the Y pipe is in there now, bolted to the exhaust manifold. We got the catalytic converter installed, and at the very end we have our intermediate pipe right here. Everything's fastened down, ready to go. So this is what we're dealing with for the rest of the exhaust. You can see that's our new tailpipe, and you'll notice that it does not match the diameter of the rest of our exhaust system. I don't have time to get a 3-inch tailpipe, so I'm just going to work with this. I think this is 2 1/4. Not exactly sure. And this is the muffler that we're going to be working with. So we're going to have to use some adapters to go down from this 3-inch diameter to this 2 1/4-inch diameter. It shouldn't be that big of an issue, but that's our next step. Here we go. Just for fun, let's pause the project for just a second and see how just the Y pipe, catalytic converter, and intermediate pipe affect the sound of the exhaust.
So the plan for the rest of the exhaust system is as follows. This will connect to the intermediate pipe. We're going to use a clamp. I'm using clamps where it makes sense, just so that way if the exhaust system ever needs to be serviced in the future, they won't have to do a whole bunch of cutting to get it taken apart. At this joint, I'm going to be MIG welding that. And then you see we have two adapters to step down from the 3-inch diameter of the muffler down to the 2 1/4 inch diameter of the tailpipe. I know that this, ideally we would just have a 3-inch tailpipe, but this is the tailpipe that AutoZone sells as for the 3-inch inlet. I don't know why it's marked in the catalog like that, but I'm assuming if I returned it and got another one, it would probably be the same story. It may even be the same story at other parts stores. And it's not like we're chasing horsepower with this truck, it's just a 350 TBI, not exactly a horsepower monster. So I don't think that having a 2 1/4 inch tailpipe is really going to hurt us that much. So with these two adapters, I'll be welding them together and to the muffler. And then when it comes to the tailpipe, this should be able to slide on the tailpipe. This is a little bit bent, so it won't slide on now. But so we'll have a clamp here and a clamp there, and all the other joints are going to be welded. Let's go.
The next step is to bring all the remaining exhaust parts under the truck so we can tack everything together. Once everything is tacked in place, we'll remove them one more time so they can be fully welded. After that, they'll be ready for final installation.
Alright, so we have the muffler all tack welded together. So now it's time to go ahead and finish fabricating and welding everything finally.
Here I have all the joints welded together, but I was extremely dissatisfied with the first joint I welded. That's why I'm grinding it down. After it's all ground down, I'll re-weld it and I'll show you the final product.
Alright, so I believe I'm just about done with the welding. Not my best welding job ever, but I think it should hold okay. I know it's really classy to blame the welder, but I am using a cheap Harbor Freight welder, and it's having some issues with the wire feed. So I'm going to have to fix that before my next project, because I was getting really inconsistent wire feed that was making it a lot more difficult than it needed to be. Another issue I had was my cuts weren't the straightest, and I did have some gaps that I needed to fill. And a lot of you probably know that on thinner materials it's more difficult to fill the gaps, but I think this will do okay. Not the best, not the worst, but should be pretty serviceable. So let's get this thing installed and we'll see how the truck sounds. Alright, everything is finally installed. Let's give you a peek. So there's the Y pipe, and as we come back, there's the catalytic converter and the intermediate pipe, and that goes to our muffler, which connects to our tailpipe. Alright, let's see how the truck sounds. Way quieter.
Unfortunately, after a short test drive, another issue has popped up. The liquid you see on the ground is coolant. I believe the water pump has failed. Oh well. I guess we know what the next video is going to be about. If you made it until this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I'll see you guys in the next video.